Saludos y bienvenidos a este podcast de la comunidad. Aquí nos encontramos nuevamente, recordando que este podcast es auspiciado por Viva la Fitness Store. Gracias a Viva la Fitness por auspiciar nuestro contenido. Puedes conseguir sus cosas a través de vivalafitness.online. En el día de hoy tenemos una invitada que yo quería tener hace tiempo, ¿verdad? La vimos compitiendo en extravaganza y ella es una atleta master, es boricua y ella es Mayra Brandt. Hi Mayra, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Y con nosotros también está Diana, ¿verdad? Que ella va a estar dándome la mano hoy porque yo no me siento tan cómodo en inglés. I don't feel as much as comfortable in English as Diana, so she will be helping me here. Hi Diana.
Hi.
So the floor is yours.
uh, First of all, Mayra, congratulations on qualifying again
Thank you, thank
for
you.
the CrossFit Game. Mayra has qualified. This is your third, or this is your fourth qualification, but the third time that you will be competing, right?
Yes, because I did qualify in 2020, but as we all know, they didn't have it for us. So yeah, so this is third actual game.
Yes, awesome. Masters athlete in the 40 to 44 category, right?
That's
For
correct.
this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So this will be my first time in the 40 to 44.
Okay.
The last two times I competed, I was 35 to 39.
Yeah, I was about to say you were in the inaugural
Yep.
year
Mm-hmm.
of that
Mm-hmm.
35 to 39
Yeah.
age group category,
Yep.
which I was very excited about that category because I think we all kind of were noticing that there was this gap between
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the 21 to 29-year-olds and then the 30 to 40 in both categories, both the men's and female categories. We were starting to see like something's missing. So I was
Yeah.
excited for that category to come up. Uh, in 2018, in the 2018 games, this is the first time. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm pretty sure I speak for a lot of people in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that Gerardo Torres was the
Yep.
only Puerto Rican at
Yeah.
the CrossFit Games, and
Mm-hmm.
this is also the first year that the games has an opening ceremony. I think
Yeah.
I'm correct, and that's when we find out that he's not the only one.
Yeah.
And then there's also two ladies with
Yeah.
him, and we are. I mean, again, I'm just speaking for myself, but I was like, wait, what? Who?
Mm-hmm.
Who are
Mm-hmm.
these people? And I never really looked into it, and I couldn't find it on your Instagram. So were you born in Puerto Rico? Or your parents from
Let,
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico?
let me stop you there. I think I knew about Ida, but I think I didn't know about you. So as soon as I saw you, I say, wait, and I start digging and looking as much information to share in the page. So
Yeah, well, first off, that was a surprise to me too. I didn't know
Oh, you froze, Maida.
yeah, you froze.
Let's give it a few seconds. Hopefully, she'll be
Wow.
back.
Mientras ella vuelve, when I find out
Okay,
that okay, there she is.
okay, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I didn't know that I could um put Puerto Rico. They ask you, where you were born, and I was born in Puerto Rico. But I didn't know that year that they were doing, a parade, a ceremony. So my gym is in the United States. So when I got to Puerto Rico and they give you all the swag, right? So my jacket had my name and the Puerto Rican flag on it. And I was so excited. So we went backstage and my name was on the US list, but my name was also on the Puerto Rican list. So like I was going, there's, hundreds of athletes in the United States and I was looking, for Puerto Rico because they line us up,
Mhm.
and I was so excited to look over and there was two other people from Puerto Rico. So I like ran over there and I'm like, I'm going to go in the Puerto Rico line. So
Oh, cool.
that's how that came about. It was totally unexpected. I didn't even know that I could that they were doing countries. So that was very cool. A nice surprise there. But yes, my parents are 100% Puerto Rican and I was born there. My older brother was born there as well, but we moved to the States when I was just really, really young. My brother is, he's deaf, he's hard of hearing. So we moved very early to, the technology was a little bit better, here in the States. So that's why we moved to the States. And, but my whole family, I have a small family, but they all live in Puerto Rico. So my uncle and my abuelos and abuelas, and so they are all from Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. There's so much we can talk about. Mayra, you've had a pretty awesome career. You competed in teams, in regionals. Yeah. There was a time you did qualify. That same year, you qualified for regionals as an individual. Was it 2017 or 2018?
No, it was 2018. So
2018.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it was 2018. Because 2016 I did regionals as a team, and it was my first CrossFit Games, kind of experience, big competition, that kind of thing. And it was so much fun. We had so much fun. The team I was with was just awesome. It was a great experience. There wasn't very much pressure there, it was just to gain experience and have a good time. And we did well, and we had a good time there. So 2017, I was still trying to make it to regionals as an individual. But 2017 was the year that they did 35 to 39. So I went 35 to 39 for the games. And then I finally made it to regionals in 2018. So I did both in 2018. I did regionals, and then I did the games as well.
Yeah, I was remembering those times where masters could go both routes. They could go to regionals, but they could also do their age online qualifier, and then they could choose depending on if they qualified through regionals or at that time you did the age group online qualifier first. You would find out if you qualified through your age group, and then came regionals. I think that was the order prior.
So I think that was when regionals you qualified through the open. So it had to be, but they did it in regions. Yeah. So I qualified through regionals there, and then the age group qualifier was later after that.
Okay.
So I knew I was going to regionals. Yeah. I knew I was going to regionals. And then also qualified for the games there. So yeah.
That's so cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go back. So I'm assuming by your Instagram post that you were a gymnast.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about you barely walk on your hands? I get it.
Yes,
okay.
I do. I walk on my hands better than I run on my feet. Let's just put it that way. So
I was looking at some of your posts, and if you haven't been through Mayra Brandt's Instagram, I'm pretty sure Dave Castro has looked at some of the things that you've posted and has come up with stuff to program. Because Mayra has been doing that freestanding handstand push-up thing years before it appeared in the game last year. So all you elite level athletes, you are way behind. Okay.
And if he wants to call me, I have more ideas.
No, I do not doubt it at all.
Yeah.
How do you get into gymnastics? How old were you? Does anybody else in your family did sports?
Yeah, so my brother is a baseball player through and through, 100%. He actually coached over in Puerto Rico. My sister is a soccer player through and through, all the way through college. They are in their sports. So I started gymnastics when I was probably about 6 years old, and I stopped when I was 14. I was a level 10 gymnast. So I stopped when I was about 14 or 15, or I quit when I was 14 or 15. And then I tried soccer, like my sister, for a couple years in high school. And I decided I didn't like to run I don't like to run a lot.
So I think Héctor and I can relate.
Yeah, so it was a little too much running for me. And then I transferred over to competitive cheerleading, which was a little bit more it was like one big floor routine in gymnastics, So when I didn't start cheerleading until my junior, senior year in high school, and I did that through college, and I haven't really stopped because I've been coaching ever since.
I recently learned, I was listening to an interview to Rebecca, I'm going to butcher her last name, Fusile.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try. But Rebecca, she's a rookie for in the elite division for the games this year. And through that interview, I learned that when you're doing gymnastics, you can choose two routes. One is like the Olympic competitive route, if I'm not mistaken, and then the other one is where your career basically just ends when you end college, something like that. Did I get it right? Did I get it somewhat right?
I just think my gym, it's also like the gym culture. So my gym was a little bit more, I don't know, they didn't really push college. Like not very many of the girls made it to college. I feel like they pushed elite level gymnastics and maybe Olympic gymnastics more than that.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm really tall and I'm, you know, kind of big. So once you get to about 14, 15, I was a perfect size for a college gymnast, but I just unfortunately was in an environment that didn't help me, you know, push me along to go for college. So it just didn't. Unfortunately, I quit at that time because I wasn't going to be an Olympic gymnast. So yeah.
Yeah, she did mention that
Mm-hmm.
how it was very hard for her because of even though, I mean, completely opposite to you, she's like 5'2".
Yeah.
So she in my head, it's like, well, she has the frame and she has the stature and she has the body, but even her coaches were very hard on her with you know, she wasn't pretty enough, or she didn't, like, I don't know, she was just like basically not enough, and how that just basically just decided because of the many other things, just like to quit. So kind of sounds like similar to your
I
story.
think it was the same. Yeah, I mean, it's when you're over 100 pounds, you know, and you know, at I guess young age, which it's normal, you know, in the gymnastics world. That's our gym was kind of like that. Unfortunately, it was a little, I would say, toxic in the fact of, you know, once I got a certain height and got a certain weight, that was very, I would say, normal, you know, in the gymnastics world, or at least that, you know, in my environment, it wasn't good enough. So it's hard to, I don't know, hard to take the, I guess, abuse. And you know, at one point I just kind of was, I don't know, I feel like some parts of my life I just kind of like, enough is enough, and that was it. I was done. And then I tried soccer, which is like completely different. Doesn't matter what size you are, you know, you're fully covered, you know, almost from head to toe, you know, it didn't really matter. So that was I don't know if any soccer players think like that, but for me, that was kind of so freeing. Like it didn't matter what I looked like, you know? And then I go into competitive cheerleading, which is another, like, it does matter what you look like, but I wasn't, you know, I wasn't a flyer. I didn't have to be. It was still, me being a strong tumbler and me being a strong base was still, was really good, you know, and it didn't, I mean, other than, like, I'm not really into makeup and that kind of stuff. So I just did that because that's technically our uniform. But, you know, that part of it's not, it doesn't matter to me, but I still get to be athletic, you know, with competitive cheer. I got to be really, it was cool that it was strong. It was cool that I was athletic and you know, it was good that way.
Yep. I've had the privilege to coach, mostly girls that were either, I have gymnasts, I've had dancers, and I've had cheerleaders, and it's been really cool to coach them because they do have like the flexibility, but they also have the ability to learn movements pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, they know how to stand in their hands, so they get that like pretty quick. And it was a cool experience to get to coach people that come from a cheerleading background. It's totally cool. So how did you find CrossFit?
So it's really funny. So I was a teacher at the time. I think I was 30 years old. And I had a friend from high school who called me and she said, can I set up a personal training session? I need to learn how to do a handstand. And it was so out of the blue. And I was kind of like, what is a 30? She's 30 also, or she was 30 also. I was like, what does a 30-year-old need to do a handstand for? That's crazy, you know? So she was like, well, I compete in CrossFit, you know, look it up, blah, blah, blah. So my next planning period, I remember when I was a teacher, I was on YouTube the whole time, just looking up what CrossFit was and what she needed it to do. So she told me that the gym that she went to, but at the time, you know, I had 2 babies at home. I was a full-time teacher.
You froze my again, Mayra. That's okay.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know.
Sorry.
You
Yeah,
froze.
there you are.
Are you back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
back.
here.
Okay, I was saying that. Okay, keep going. I will ask after.
Okay.
You were telling the story
Yeah.
about
You were a teacher at did you teach a certain a particular course?
Yeah, I taught. No, I was a school teacher. I taught 5th grade and middle school. So
Okay,
I
wow,
was,
that's tough.
yeah. So on one of my planning periods, I looked up what, you know, CrossFit was so I could help her. And so I did go to one of the on-ramp classes at her gym eventually. Because I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. She was competing in regionals at the time, you know, And so they needed,
What
they
year
needed
was
to do
this?
Oh gosh, so I mean, I think I was 30 or 31 years old. So I mean, this is 10, 12 years ago. Yeah. So
Hector, do the math.
so
Go.
yeah. Well, I'll say
2001,
that
2000,
I would say
2012.
2011 because I did walk into a CrossFit gym one time for the on-ramp class in like maybe November, December. And I did the on-ramp class, but then I didn't walk back into the gym until like February, which of course was the time for the open. So that was my first year, which was 2012. I'm pretty sure 2012 was my first open, and that was a year we had to do snatches, and the coach was teaching me how to do a snatch before I had to perform snatches in the open workout. So
That
when
very
when I
similar
first
to Annie's story. Annie learned how
oh
to
really
snatch during the
yes
games. Yeah.
exactly. So my first my beginning of CrossFit I was a member that was maybe there once or twice a week, and I was that member that would like race in the gym. I was late and then I had to race out of the gym when I was, you know, as soon as I was done because I could barely get there, you know. So because I had 2 babies at home, I was a full-time teacher, and then I was still running, or I owned the CrossFit gym, so I'm the cheerleading gym, and at that time it was pretty new, so I was doing everything, you know, in the cheerleading gym. I was coaching and the back end stuff and all the things. So I could barely get to CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. No
So,
doubt
So it
about
took
it. So
so cheerleading kept being part of your life after you began doing
oh
cheerleading?
from college on, yeah. So college, I cheered in college. I coached a high school when I was cheering in college, and then I opened a gym with friends really early, maybe like 2000, oh gosh, 3 or 4. And very quickly did I realize that I couldn't make a living off of being a co-owner of a cheerleading gym. So I sold the gym to her, and then I became a teacher. So I was a teacher, and then I always coached at that same gym. And then so eventually that gym kind of fell apart, and then I picked it back up in 2010, 2009, 2010. So that's when I owned it all by myself. Still couldn't make a living off of it alone, so I was still a teacher, and then, you know, have had it since then. Yeah.
I was
we're talking
looking.
about the Boca Extreme,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yeah, Boca Extreme is my cheer gym. And then the CrossFit gym, I bought the CrossFit gym with a partner in 2017. And then COVID hit, and then I bought the CrossFit gym solely, and of course, COVID, I decided to buy a gym. So now I own the CrossFit gym alone now. It's been 2 years now. Yeah.
Before we go back into your CrossFit career, I did want to touch on because you kind of did touch on this. You are a mother of two.
Yes. My babies are now teenagers.
which kind of does makes it better in a way, but another way it's like, oh my God, this is not getting any easier, is it?
It's, what it is every stage is just a different kind of hard, and that's simply it. It's all hard, but it's a different kind of hard. My son is 15 and learning how to drive, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I can totally, yes.
So that is a way different, but every stage of parenting is just a different kind of hard. It's a lot easier in certain ways, but it's still difficult. Yeah.
I think you used the best description, a different kind of hard.
Yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm. So you're mother of two. You were first, I did not know this, but before you being an athlete and a CrossFit athlete, you owned a business plus you were a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the cheerleading gym and a teacher, mother of two.
Yep.
And then you start doing CrossFit.
Yes. So I started, CrossFit when I had both, when I was a teacher and again, it was like a year that I only went like once or twice a week to the gym because I just couldn't find the time. So
the thing that I was starting to get to, it's like and you wrote this on a post. I don't remember the post, but I remembered I wrote it down. Organized chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos. And you I wanted to touch on that a little bit later, but the more I talk about your life, the more I realize that seems to be the theme of Mayra Brandt's life: organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
Do you have?
And you know what? I'm not afraid to admit it. Sometimes it's a hot mess.
No. I mean, I will not argue against that at all.
Yeah.
What is between all everything that you do, and we haven't gotten into more details, what does me time look like to you? Does that even exist?
Oh yeah. CrossFit is a lot of me time.
Okay.
I really enjoy the training. I enjoy the people that come to my gym. I'm actually very introverted, so it's kind of nice that when you're coaching a class, I'm not introverted. I'm very loud, and so it feels good to be able to connect with people. And then I train alone pretty much most of the time, so that's kind of my me time there. And then at home, I like to when I'm just kind of relaxing in my backyard, I can easily take 20 minutes here and there to just kind of chill out when I need it. And to be honest with you, I call these competitions my CrossFit vacations. And it's really, it is. That's my me time, is me going and competing, getting to do what I love to do. Or heading out to I train under Training Think Tank, and their main hub is in Georgia, so I go up there a couple times a year, and again, it's my CrossFit vacations, my alone time.
Not the type of vacation I had in mind, but
I know. No,
I will take it.
When I went to Puerto Rico for the Beetle extravaganza, that was my other CrossFit vacation, and I got to visit some family, so that was 2 in 1.
2 in 1. That's great when you can do that.
Yeah.
who gets you interested in competing? Did you make time for it, or did a coach saw
Yeah.
you and said,
So
like, maybe you could be good at this?
yeah, so when I started at my gym, they went to let me say the 2008 regionals, or 2009 region, whatever it was, really really early. Um and they had a good group of competitive athletes at that gym. I was not one of them at the time. I was just, again, struggling to even just get there. And so the one of the coaches, or the manager, came up to me, and she paired me together with somebody. They were doing a local partner competition, and they needed, another girl. So they partnered me with one of the guys in the gym, and I met him literally like 2 days before the competition. Like, hey, how you doing? My name is Mayra. And then we did a partner competition together. We did really really well. I mean, that was really fun. And then it was just like little competitions here and there from then on. The local competitions, and I was doing fairly well. And then, you just I'll try this one, and this one has like an RX division. Now I'll try RX division, and this one has a new elite division, and I'll try the elite. You know what I mean? So it just kind of built up from there. But there was a certain time when I was able to start to go a little bit more, that the coach at the gym, I approached to that I wanted to do more. You know what I mean? I wanted to compete. So we were able to, get some programming together to, be able to compete. It just kind of like organically happened, but over like a long period of time. I mean, a couple years there, because I didn't really start competing until, maybe 4 or 5 years into doing CrossFit.
Okay.
So
Good,
yeah,
good. That's not
yeah.
contrary to one too many people.
Yeah. I mean, I did the open. I mean, in 2012, I did the open, that kind of stuff, very new. But I'm saying actual focusing more on competing was, 4 years into it, pretty much.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's have the time to build a base
Yeah.
before you.
It takes me a while.
No, but it's cool. It's cool because a lot of people
Yeah.
get into it because, I mean, I found out about CrossFit uh, through watching the CrossFit Games. So
Mhm.
when you kind of go into CrossFit that way, you sort of go into it thinking you're going to compete,
Yeah.
and a lot of people go into it. They take their 1 month into their group classes, and they come up to you as a
Exactly.
coach, and they're like, I want to compete in this. And it's like, but you've
Yeah.
been here for a month. Like, you don't,
Yeah.
like, take it
Yeah.
easy. So I like that. I
Yeah.
like that approach of
Yeah.
having 4 years and then we're going
Yeah.
to compete. It's like,
Yeah. It
listen
took
to
me a
that
long
again, people.
time.
Listen to that again.
Yeah.
Let it
Yes.
sink into your head a little bit.
Yeah. It took me a while.
Uh, uh, I've heard a lot of games athletes that were gymnasts say that once they are done with gymnastics, even though you were done with gymnastics when you were a teenager, but they say that they usually just miss that feeling of competing once they're done with gymnastics, and then they eventually find CrossFit, and it
Yep.
kind of ignites
Yep.
that sense of I guess just challenging themselves, or the adrenaline rush, or just getting better at something. Do you
Yeah.
like do
Yeah.
you
No, for me,
did you
it's
yeah.
definitely it's definitely the challenge. I mean, the CrossFit is very similar to gymnastics, and there's a lot of elements to it. There's a lot of movements to it that you have to perfect, and you can't just perfect it by. You have to perfect it by progressions. You know what I mean? You start from here, and you have to build up all the way. So it's very similar in that aspect. And I think the competitiveness, yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's just in me. I guess growing up, and I mean that part of it is the most fun for me. But yeah, I mean, the best part about CrossFit, or the similarities to it, is that it's just incredibly challenging. And it's like, great, you mastered this skill. Oh, there's more, and then there's more. And there's, it's just like gymnastics, like, oh, you got one skill. Awesome. That feeling is amazing. But now we got to do more, So it's definitely a challenge, and that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I tell a lot of people. It's like this never ends.
Yeah, and
It's a never ending story.
Yeah, I did a stint in weightlifting in 2016. I took that year and I did a lot of
Yeah.
actual weightlifting competitions, which was super fun. But for me, it's just I was good at I am good at Olympic weightlifting, but it was just again two elements. Yes, there's a lot to those two elements, but I just find CrossFit a little bit more like there's more I have to work on and more that is challenging and the accomplishments of little things. Every workout can have a focus that you have been working on, and you get that feeling of accomplishment in any workout. Every workout could potentially be there.
I completely agree. And
Mm.
weightlifting is just like it's fun, but it's like a mental torture of
Yeah.
so many little things to do this one movement
Yeah.
that lasts for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Well, you know what? Olympic weightlifting is just like the balance beam in gymnastics. Like you have
Okay.
a split second to be on or off. A
Oh,
split
good,
second
good,
either
good.
way, and you are done. Yeah. Yeah. So that's similar to I would say the balance beam in gymnastics.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I have a note here. That year that you competed in the 35 to 39 division, you between them the many great uh, athletes that were in that category, two names stood out for me, and that's Sam Briggs and Anna Tobias.
Yeah.
Do you know who these? Like, have you've been following the sport, so you know who these
Yes.
women are? When
Yes.
you
I think
find
they.
out that you're, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that was 2018. That was
That was
the
2018.
2018. Yeah. Hmm.
When you find out that you're competing in the same category with these women who've had multiple years of I mean, I remember years prior, these two, if it was like a long endurance event, these two
Hmm.
women were like first and second. And it was like
Yeah.
the longer the event, you kind of knew this event is like
Yep.
for it's an Anna and Sam's like show. When you
Hmm.
find out you're competing against uh, Sam and Anna, what goes through your head? I mean, can you recall? Can you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I knew exactly who they were.
Yeah.
I had been watching, long enough to know exactly who they were, and it was like a mix of like, it's kind of an honor, like I get to compete right next to Sam, like she's right there, right next
Yeah,
to
I
me.
know, I know.
Yeah, so it's kind of just it feels cool. I mean, it feels cool that you're competing right next to that person. And also, I think more so that I was thankful that they chose to compete in masters. You know what I mean? That they gave us enough credit and thought of us enough to, yeah, I do want to compete in those divisions also. So I was super thankful that they, even though it did bring a little more attention, to our divisions, that I felt kind of was the most part was like that was cool that they still chose to compete in the masters division, because some people at that time were kind of shunning the
Yeah.
masters, but they didn't at all, and it was cool to watch. After us competing, I mean, she would be back in the warm up area, like doing a whole another workout. You know what I mean? She would still be
Oh,
like, yes,
insane,
like I just on
insane.
that bike, yes, on that bike, and I'm like, I'm resting. I'm like, I need to rest. Oh, so
You
she's definitely on a different level, but it was, yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I thought it was really cool to be there with her.
I just want to share a little bit of data here. During the year of 2013, you placed 14,724,
Oh,
and
look at me.
that year the person who won the females was Samantha Briggs.
Oh,
The same one you competed a few years after.
Yeah, that's
The
crazy.
49 division.
Yeah,
that's so
5 years
funny.
later, 5 years later, you're competing against the person that won the
Y-
Open. That's so cool.
Yes, that is
That's
cool.
awesome.
And
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
mean, it was, I think it was funny. Some of the workouts, I'm like, mid workout dying, and she's like done. It's funny. But I will say, I beat her on the handstand walking workout.
Yes. Yes.
I got one. Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
a lot of people not praise Briggs, not only just because she's a I've been saying for years she's an alien. She was brought here by another, alien species, left it
yeah,
on Earth, and she's just been, growing up as a human. Um, but there's a lot to her more than just being a great athlete. A lot of people have said that she's also a great like sports. How do you say this? Sportsmanship,
yeah,
like
yeah.
behind, like
Backstage,
after.
mhm.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
get that
backstage.
vibe from her too?
Absolutely. Yeah, she was super cool. And it wasn't, I mean, it was cool. I remember walking out to the obstacle course because we had to go through, where people were and, her stopping and, taking pictures with everybody and anyone kind of coming up to her. And this is like, we're walking to go compete, So
Mm-hmm.
no, she was definitely backstage. I mean, just as upfront and super cool like she is that you would assume she was. Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
That
Sevan
is
Matosian says that she should win the Spirit of the Games every year.
Every year, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
he
believe that
actually,
was the
yeah.
year. I
Go
believe that
ahead,
was
go
the
ahead.
year that she almost didn't like. I feel like that was the
She
year she
almost
almost
didn't
didn't
make
even
it.
make it. Right,
Yeah,
right.
she was. There was like a 2 or 3 years where she was having trouble getting a visa to come
Yeah,
to the
something
U.S.
happened.
And that year was crazy. She got to the U.S. the day that was registration.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's the day.
yeah.
The same day of registration is the same day that she got there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so I want to talk about. I mean, if it's okay with you, I want to talk about that year. 2017 is your first year as a masters athlete in the
Yeah.
35 to 39 category. You placed fifth.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 2018,
Yes.
you
Oh
also
my.
finished fifth, but
But it was the worst year ever.
yes. So I'm
Everything
trying
went
to
wrong that
like put
year.
the
Everything.
timeline together, and
Yeah.
according to the research I did, you go into the games already having one of your knees kind of busted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Walk us
So
through that.
I already had a surgery planned for when I came home from the games to for my knee because like a week and a half before regionals, I was working on my pistols and I felt a pop in my knee, right? It was my left knee. Yeah, well, we go to find out that it was, I tore my meniscus. So I still competed at regionals. And so from the training that to the games, it was a little bit of, trying to rehab the knee, and I had already had the surgery scheduled for my left knee for when I came home from the game. So I showed to the games. That was the year we competed one day and then we had a rest day. And then
Hmm.
we had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 more days. So I competed that first day and did awesome. Although it was all of my strength, it was heavy snatches, it was handstand walking, and it was the obstacle course, right? Which is like, I mean, that is all my favorite things.
In your wheelhouse, in your
So
wheelhouse.
everything in my wheelhouse on that first day. However, on the heavy snatch workout, it was like a ladder. Um, it was double unders, and while I was doing double unders, my right knee just popped, like it felt like it blew up, like something exploded
Oh boy.
in my right knee. So I'm now kind of doing one, like double unders. I'm trying to do it on my one leg. You know, I finished the workout. I still do really well. And I think we're done for the day. That's it. That's our third workout, and we have a rest day. Well, I go back to the hotel, and I am like, I'm crying. I'm devastated because my right knee, I can't walk up the stairs. I couldn't bend it. I couldn't straighten. I mean, it was really, really bad. And I went to the like the medical
staff.
the medical staff, and I start, kind of telling them what's going on. And while they're kind of checking me out, I realized that, wait a second, it kind of flip-flopped, and they were asking me questions, and I was like, I feel like I was like, oh, they're trying to tell me that maybe they're going to tell me I can't compete. So then I was like, I'm fine. I'm good. I just wanted to get out of there. So, so I got out of there. And again, that night was just terrible. I was in pain. I didn't know if I was going to compete. Like, I can't even walk at this point. So I don't know what to do. So we have our rest day, and the rest day was our ceremony, the opening, the parade of athletes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I almost didn't even go. Because I was just like, again, I'm just going to rest. I don't know what to do. I can't even walk. So I go, and the whole, United States, Puerto Rico thing happens, and I'm able to walk with Puerto Rico. And I can't even tell you, that literally changed my whole games, because just like you said, like, you found me. No, like we found each other. And like, I could feel from our little country in Puerto Rico, I could feel everybody like, who is this girl? Oh my gosh, the excitement and the adrenaline I got from being this like undiscovered, sister of everybody. You know what I mean? It was, I mean, I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. So, I did that, that ceremony, and still that night, I mean, I cried so much, like I just couldn't cry, I was like, anymore, I had no more tears.
No tears left.
No tears left. So, I was just like, well, I'm just going to I'm going to go until they tell me I'm not allowed to go anymore. So I just did every workout by workout. And every workout, of course, was a squat. I felt like every workout had squatting in it, every single way. And you can see, so there's a couple of broadcasts there that there's I think we do like a ski and a row and dumbbell front squats, right? And so this is, so we're doing dumbbell front squats, and I am like leaning. I mean, I'm so leaning to
like leg. Your hips is shifting to one side fully.
Yes. Yeah. And of course, this is what they decide to show on the broadcast of me. And, the commentator's like, well, this is not the best, technique. And I'm like, oh my gosh, terrible.
Do we know who the commentators were?
I don't know.
It's probably Bill Grundler and
I have to go back.
We'll hit them up.
This is how I remember it. And I'm like, I'm trying to squat. Every squat I do, I like keep my eye on my judge. Like, did I go low enough? Was that good? Was that good?
Yeah.
So so that was the first I think the first workout back. Then what else happened that year? So then we have a rope climb workout. Oh, this is so embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So we had a rope climb workout. It was a run, a rope climb, and a yoke. Oh yeah, the yoke carry. So the yoke was incredibly hard on my knees. Like, I could, every time I put it down, I just felt like a sack of bricks, and I just like would fall to the ground.
Like literally
fall. 3, 2, 1, go.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
One of those like fireman drop rope. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Are we good? Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. I jump up on that rope, and I do one of those fireman drops right from the top of the rope, and I rip a huge hole in my pants.
Your inner thigh, your pants. Yeah.
And I am on the first rope climb, and it's like we have to do, I think it was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. I'm gonna stop you.
Hector, can you pull up the workouts from that year, 2018 Masters?
Yeah.
I wanna go through each one of those.
Oh yeah. So I had to, from the first one, I was burnt. It was a big hole in my thigh, and like my skin, then we had to run. And of course, my thighs are not skinny. They're like rubbing against each other. And I start bleeding. And, so by the end, I have this chunk out of my thigh, like my inner thigh. And, so once again, my 15 seconds of fame on the broadcast is them. I'm not kidding. The last thing we have to do is the yoke, right? I pick up the yoke, I go across the finish line, I run to wherever, I sit down, and I turn, and so I think someone says, "We need a medic." Oh no, my judge, because my judge, I think it was my judge. Yeah, I think it was my judge, because he knew that I was, in a ton of pain and I was bleeding. And yeah, it's right there on the broadcast. There it is. That's what I get. My 15 seconds is my burnt inner thigh. And it was terrible. So then I had to go to the the medic again. And they, kind of cleans me up, and that was that. And now so many things have happened that now I'm just, it's almost funny, right? So that was the year my massage therapist was able to come up to the games with me, and he, oh yeah, where is it? I'm not on my computer, so I can't see, but he came back to the medic area, and we were just laughing and crying, and I just couldn't believe that had happened. So then, if you look, we had our swim. We had I think it was just a 500-meter swim. So in 2017, we had to do a 1.5 mile run, then the swim, then a 1.5 mile run. They had all the masters go at the same time. So we all ran a 1.5 miles, then we all went in the swim and then came back. I had practiced swimming, but when you get out in that water and there's hundreds of people, so I got in the water, got kick splashed, everything a few times, and I had a full-blown panic attack. My very first one in my entire life, a full-blown panic attack, and in the water. And I am literally like on my back, doing this, the survival backstroke thing.
Yeah.
Trying to just stay above water. And I mean, it was just chaos. It was really, really, really bad. Anyways, so 2017 or going into 2018, I had practiced swimming so much. I trained it so hard, and I was so ready to conquer that swim. I was ready to go. So it's time for the swim. My leg is wrapped up. My leg is fully wrapped up from my burn. Meanwhile, I hadn't slept all night because I was in so much pain from the burn, so much pain from the knees. And so they lined us up in order of placement. So, this year was only our age group. So it was the 35 to 39 women and the 35 to 39 men. But they lined us up in order of placement. And at the time, I was like 4th place or something, 3rd, 4th place. So they lined up 1st place woman, 2nd place woman, 3rd place woman, and then 1st place man, 2nd place man, 3rd place man. Then behind us was like 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So I end up being.
I'm gonna pause you for a second, just to get a perspective. This is the 2nd, 3rd day of competition.
The swim is now maybe the 3rd day. So we had a rest day. We had that first day. Rest day.
Yeah. The point is that I'm trying to get is to, you're in like 3rd or 4th place with 2 bad knees and wounded.
And a burn.
That is amazing. Yes. That is crazy.
Very
okay,
wounded.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So I somehow get stuck literally in the center, in the front row, in the center. So we walk out into the water. So this year is the year that we started in the water, like in between the boat ramps. And then the buoy is to the hard right. So you gotta do a hard right to swim over to the buoy. So we walk out into the water, 3, 2, 1, go, and we turn, and everybody, I felt like everybody was a big wave right on top of me, and bam, panic attack. I'm on my back, and I am swinging again on my back. Last place again when I had trained so hard. Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think, yeah, I was dead last in that workout again. And so, you know, it's those were the 3 main things, but it was a pretty rough year
Wow.
for competing. Yeah.
We are looking at the workouts here, and yeah, so check this out. Not only that, but you have a shoulder to overhead 1 rep max.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. So for that one, so I was gonna, you know, split jerk, but I could not. I go
Yeah, no,
backstage.
just
I'm warming up backstage, and I remember split jerking 120. Like I was warming up, and 125 was like, I don't know, barely. I could barely do that. I think I got up to like 175, and I tried and split jerk, and I didn't hit it. I dropped the bar, and it almost clipped like my foot or something. It was really sketchy. And so I was like, I'm gonna have to push jerk. I need both my legs. I can't have one leg out in front. I have 0 stability. So I decided backstage that I was gonna have to push jerk it. So so I go out there, and of course it's like you only have 3 attempts or whatever. But I just remember the adrenaline getting me through that one. I don't even know how, but I was like, I have 2 legs. I use both my legs, but I feel like that was another one. I would like shift over to one side and then catch it. Oh my gosh, it was a year of really bad technique.
it's your survival
Yes.
year.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot about that workout. Yeah, now I remember it very clearly. Yes. Yes.
It amazes me because I don't know if this is just the adrenaline from competition, but I'm listening to you, and of course, I think in a lot of our minds we have, because since it was so recent, Brooke Wells's injury during the games
Yeah.
last year, and how she
Yeah.
says that, you know, once they kind of get her elbow into place, she says, "I'm ready. I'm going to go out again," right?
Yeah.
And that is in my head, it's just, it makes no sense. And now I'm listening to you tell your story. 2 busted knees. You already have, you know, 1 pop. You hear 1 pop way back when. Then you feel like the other one. This is your words online. Felt like you just exploded.
Yeah.
And you're warming up for a rep max for a shoulder to overhead, and you're just like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, again,
Crazy.
in my head, I was, number one, I was terrified of any of the medics or anybody coming up to me because I was afraid that they were going to make me stop. Right. So I remember I was on the assault bike, warming up, cooling down, whatever. And one of the interview women came up to me, and she was asking me about my leg, my burn, my burnt leg. Yeah. And I feel like it was kind of like short answers, and I was just kind of like, please don't bring attention to me because I don't want to get kicked out. Yeah. So I was trying to, so I didn't want, you know, it's like after a while, because, you know, like, again, the questions that they started asking, I was like, ooh, I think they're trying to see if I can still compete, or they're going to let me, you know? So, and then I was just like, I'll just take it workout by workout, you know, and until I can't do it anymore, you know? So, and just, if you do one at a time, again, one step at a time, before you know it, it's over. So, yeah.
I'm just trying to like put myself in your position in that moment, and wondering, like, just it seems like there's no space for feeling scared of what might happen. Like the only thing you're scared about is somebody telling you you're not fit to compete.
Yeah,
you're not thinking about your knees just completely blown out.
No, I definitely wasn't thinking about my future. No, That first night, it's the hardest part is like, oh my gosh, I came all the way out here and all these people that support me. And then for me to have to withdraw is the hardest decision because you have all these, you're like, oh man, I have all these people that are watching me. And in my world, it's not, I mean, I can only imagine someone, like a Brooke Wells or whatever. I mean, in my world, it's, my family, my people at my gym and, like the 3 people that came to watch me, and that's it. But
Yeah, but
it feels,
I can relate. I can relate.
yeah, it feels devastating, and it's kind of, you just, again, I just got to the point where I was like, well, I'm just going to do it one at a time. And that's it. Honestly, I will say, because the swim wasn't for a little while. And in my head, I so badly, this sounds so terrible, but I so badly wanted to conquer that swim. So I think in my head, I was like, I don't need my knees to swim, So I'm like, if I can make it, if I can make it, if I can make it to the swim, I really want to crush it. And then I completely bombed. So by then it's like, all right, well, I mean, what else?
Wow.
It was
no, but
bad,
I can
yeah,
relate. Even though it's you, I competed in. I had a very very short powerlifting time in my life, and the only person I really had, supporting me in that was our coach, who's this
Yeah.
guy who I mean, there's no money in powerlifting, and this
No.
so this guy is he's an engineer. He works all day. He's a dad. He's a husband. And after he's done, with his work, he just gets the team together to train and spends, training for powerlifting. It takes a long time. It's a very long training session. So I basically had this one guy being like on team.
Sorry, hold on.
That's all right. That's okay.
No problem.
We don't mind pets. It's all right. And in my second meet, I missed one lift because I wasn't feeling emotionally well, and I remember feeling so devastated, like I wanted to cry just because I missed one lift because this guy is there day after day, no matter what.
Yep.
He's not getting paid for this.
Yeah,
He just loves the sport. And I missed this one lift because
Yep.
I'm not emotionally well. It's like I felt so I completely understand. Like it doesn't matter how small your group is, you're still letting 1 or 3 to 5 people down that make up everything that needs to happen for you to get to that place. And it whether it's one or many, it never goes unnoticed and highly appreciative. So yeah.
It feels like you're just letting everyone down, and it's like the worst feeling. I mean, that feeling was worse than the pain that I was feeling there. And to be honest with you, at the end of that, I called my husband and I said, we need to change the the surgery to the right knee. and then we'll do because my right knee actually ended up being worse than the left. So
what happened to your right knee? Because we know the left was the meniscus. What happened to your right knee?
I ended up just getting a total repair of my meniscus on my right knee. And then on the left one, I just got a scope, like an arthroscopic surgery. So
is that the one where they shave part of the meniscus or something like that?
The left one, they just kind of cleaned it out. And the right one was the bad one. The right one, I did a repair of the meniscus. So I was on crutches for 6 weeks. Like I wasn't able to walk on it for 6 weeks before I, so actually what I did, I wanted to do both at the same time. I was like, let's get moving. Let's do this and get ready.
I mean, you're so good at walking in your hands. I don't need legs. It's fine.
Exactly. So they obviously were like, well, you're going to be like in a wheelchair for 6 weeks. And I was like, okay, never mind. So we did the right knee. So I was on crutches for 6 weeks. and then I walked for 1 week, and then I did my left knee. So then I could rehab them both at the same time for the last part of my rehab.
Wow. Okay. So wait. I'm
Yeah.
gonna backtrack on that a bit.
Mm.
Your surgery originally was for your left knee. The surgery
Yeah.
that you already scheduled before the games for after the
Yeah.
games was for your left knee.
Left, correct.
And then after the games, they're like, well, no, we first need to take care of the right knee. And
Yeah,
that's
we
your
came
first
up with the,
surgery.
yeah, we found out that the right knee was worse. So then I switched it to the right knee.
Damn. Wow. Your all your posts throughout your recovery and your rehab. We interviewed just a few days ago an adaptive athlete from Puerto Rico. Her name is Nestle. Uh, and as I was looking through your workouts while you couldn't use one of your legs, basically, uh, I reminded of, I was reminded of her and how we talked about how adaptive doesn't necessarily mean someone that is either, you know, like can't walk, has lives in a wheelchair, or is missing part of their arm, but also people who are going through rehab because their workouts can't be scaled; they need to be adapted. And
Uh-huh.
I never just going through your posts during your recovery, you just reminded me of that conversation and how important it is for us coaches to to be able to attend to athletes that come through our doors, that not necessarily adaptive athletes, but they are going through some sort of rehab and they need an
Yeah.
adaptive workout.
Yeah. And it's hard. I
Some
mean,
of those, yeah.
I'll say, sorry, my
Go ahead. Go ahead.
main my main focus during the surgeries was to do it right. Right. So I knew it was going to be a long time. I had already in my head just kind of let it be. And so I wanted to do everything right. And it's really hard. I mean, it's really hard to be patient and not worry about numbers or anything, um, and go through it so so you can keep living and living your life and doing what you want. But I will say that, I mean, I did a lot of seated skis, and actually I would look up a lot of adaptive workouts to see what I could do. I remember doing Grace during like a barbells for boobs event. We did Grace, and I did it seated on the floor. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to go through that experience, because then I can say I lived it and let other people know who have an injury or need rehab that there's still so much you can do to stay in shape or be part of a community. It doesn't even to be part of the gym. And because I did, I was able to do a lot. You don't realize how much you can do if you can't use an ankle or a wrist or whatever. There's still so much that you can still be a part of.
Yeah, there's that's something that she Nestle uh, mentioned, is that she wants to put herself out there so that more people see that just
Yeah.
because you, whatever it is that's impeding you,
Yeah.
uh, it's not really an excuse or a reason for you to not train or to do something for yourself.
Right.
So yeah, right, the line that what you were saying.
Yeah.
There's one post. There's one. I mean, you basically walk everybody through your rehab and your posts. But there was one post that it was clips of. It's a video and has different clips through your rehab that shows. It kind of compiles like the beginning and through the process and I don't remember, but I appreciated that post because it's something that I tell Héctor a lot. Héctor is also a barista, and he's getting into competing in latte art
Nice.
stuff,
Very
and
cool.
I mentioned it to him that it's so cool that he posts his competitions, even though, he doesn't, he's still learning and he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
But compared to people that have been doing it for years, well, he's still not there. And I love the fact that he posts the process. He doesn't post, 5 years on down the road when he's like winning every competition. Did we lose her?
Yeah, I can see her.
You can see her. I can see her.
Yeah.
Mayra, can you hear us? Can you hear her? What happened? Oh, there you are.
Maybe she received a call or something.
Sorry about that. I lost you for a second.
It's all right. You're all right. Don't worry.
You were saying that you appreciate that he posts the process.
Yeah, and then you did the same. You post the process because we live in our phones and in our social medias, and we love to post the flashy stuff, and we love to post when there's a win, but we never post when there's a loss, or we never post when we're going through the process of getting better at something. And I love that you did that because that I've what I tell Héctor, that's what people need to see.
Yeah.
People need to see the in between,
Yeah.
not the overnight stuff, not the, they because they want to believe like, oh, this happened overnight, you got
Yeah.
better overnight. It's like, no. No.
And the response, I mean, I'm not the best at social media. I try really hard.
Really? Well, you're doing a great job. So
yeah, but
kudos.
I mean, it's usually I put because people. I mean, the response I would get, helping people, it's pretty awesome, because it is cool, and even for me, just looking at those videos, it's kind of cool to relive it. I have a client right now who's going through it, and when he told me, I was almost like excited. I'm like, it's going to be great. I promise. I'm like, you're going to, just be patient and it's going to be awesome. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Because, when you live that kind of stuff, it's so hard to see it. It's so hard to be patient. That was the year I canceled Wadapalooza, kind of, and just all the things you really love to do, and you're like, oh, I just gotta wait, you gotta hold back. It's really, really hard. It's really hard. And that was a year they gave me like a whole box because I was invited because I had won the year before. So I had gotten the invite, and it was like so nice. It was like a box of like all these little goodies, and I'm like, oh man, I have to say no. So that was really hard because I just, wasn't ready yet, and I just didn't want to rush it. So yeah.
Well, we kind of touched it there, but because I wanted to talk about just coming back from an injury to start doing regular things. Oh yeah. So you go through your rehab and you're starting, and this is one part, and I like it because I can relate it because I'm not that tall, but I'm taller than most women in Puerto Rico, and I have long levers like you, so pistols is like this seemed like impossible or seemed like impossible at some point, and this is like the movement that you kind of, or at least you show more once you're done with rehab. You're good to go, you're ready to start doing more stuff. But when other than that, grabbing a barbell again, lifting heavy again, we've recently just seen how Sarah Sigmund's daughter has, like, I could be totally wrong with this, but it's what I can perceive. Like, her injury has like sort of mentally blocked her from getting back to the capacity that she once was. And I was kind of wondering, that mental process of trusting your body again, trusting that everything's going to be fine, and can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's still there. I mean, every
Yeah.
time even squatting. So for me, it's really running, squatting, and definitely pistols. Um, I uh, I feel like it's just one of those things where it's like every time you go down, you're like, is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna hurt? And you're like, oh wait, no, it doesn't hurt. And then it's like, is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't hurt. But some days you are achy, and it's one of those like, oh man, am I achy or am I hurt? Like, did I re-hurt myself? It's always, I feel like it's always, and if I feel let's say achy or I go right back to my rehab exercises. I take a few days and I'm like, I got the band, I got the thing. I do like a few days of rehab, and I think that's just me mentally like, okay, let me go back, stop for a few days, not stop, but like, just rehab for a few days. We'll, power clean instead of squat clean heavy, whatever. And then
Right, sort of
kinda get
like a
back
little
at it.
deload days for the
A little
knees.
deload, yes, a little revamp and a little like just. But I will say, I mean, the it's still there. I mean, it's still tough. I mean, I don't like to squat that much. Squatting again, it's not my strong suit, obviously, and
Long femur
uh,
problems. Long femur problems.
yeah. So yeah, so little things, and some of it's mental, and some of it's um I don't know, maybe some of it's age. I'm kind of getting there,
No, man. I mean,
42 now. So I don't think I go as heavy as I used to, a lot. I still go heavy obviously, but I don't like to. But I will absolutely if I feel anything that's not just, I don't know, achy or sore, I'll stop for a few days and go right back to my rehab, and I still try and keep it in, especially now, training for the games where I feel like I'm training so much more, and I definitely try and just want to, especially running. I've been, obviously running so much more now, so that's a movement that kind of gets a little tricky, with the knees. They kind of talk. I would tell my coach, I'm like, my knees are talking to me. They're not yelling. They're not yelling yet, but they're talking. So, so you got to keep, just got to keep an eye on it.
you mentioned your coach, and I wanted to talk about training think tank and how did you? Because you had a coach
Yeah.
for long. This is not the same coach. The training think tank coach is not the same one that you had like forever
Right.
since the
No. So I
beginning.
was I was with Kyle, starting from my rehab.
Okay, all
From
right.
my rehab.
How did you find training think tank?
Well, I mean, long story short, Max El Haj used to, once upon a time, coach at CrossFit Delray Beach, which is the gym I now own.
Okay, okay.
We didn't cross paths at the time. He left before I became a member. But a lot of the people that were around me knew him well,
Mhm.
and that kind of thing. So it was a pretty easy switch. Now, my coach Kyle, I didn't meet until I inquired about coaching, and they gave me Kyle. He had worked with other Games Masters athletes, so that's how we connected.
That is awesome.
Mm.
Prior to Kyle and training think tank, did you have like an individualized programming, or
Yeah, so the
did you have
coach
like
at
a
the gym.
competitors?
No, the coach at the gym. My first coach. He was a coach at the gym, and he did
Mhm.
all my programming. So he didn't. He would just do individual programming for me. Yeah.
What's
I
been like the biggest? Go ahead, Hector.
I think you were going somewhere deep. My mine is not so deep. So, Profit Del Rey was the box you visited at first, and
Yes.
then became the one
The
you own
owner.
right now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Wow, that
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. Yeah. The same
okay.
gym.
You can go deep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that switch like going from one coach that you've been for so many years to, was that an easy sort of like
Um,
switch?
no, it definitely wasn't easy because my first coach was at the gym with me. So he was
Hmm.
there, he could see me, that kind of stuff. And Kyle, he is remote. So That's a little bit, I guess, of an adjustment. But I mean, the good thing is that he started with me when I was going through my rehab. So we kind of it was like starting from the bottom again
Yeah.
and and progressing together. So that part of it was cool. The timing of it was cool like that. So we could just, again, start. And he was in constant communication with my PT here. At home. So we would, so we were all kind of on the same page. And side note, my PT is one of my cheer coaches. So I'm really lucky. Yes. So
you
I'm really
are,
lucky
man.
that,
You are.
I know.
That is great because I follow a lot of PTs, a lot of physical therapists on Instagram. I wanted to at some point I wanted to go back to school to be a PT, and I am aware of the disconnect between PTs and
Yes.
strength coaches.
Yeah.
And there's like this, I don't know, I guess you could call it like a little war, I guess you could call it, or something.
Mhm.
That you got to stay connected.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to each other because you're doing different things, but the strength coach has to know what the PT is doing, how's the process going, and so you're definitely. I think you're extremely lucky, and that's so great. No wonder it's been wonderful.
The only thing is so I didn't have a coach through like the beginning parts of the rehab. I would just have, my PT would just I would go to him. And then the only thing is as he would tell me I could start squatting again or this and that, and he would say something like, okay, so you can start, let's say, back squatting. And I'm like, awesome. Like, how much can I do? And he'd be like, all right, well, you're at about 50%. So you can do 50%. Well, CrossFitter, what do we do? Well, my lifetime best PR back squat is 300 pounds. So I can do 150. And he looked at me like, are you crazy? I was like, you said 50%. So he was like, I was thinking more like 85 pounds. And I was like, well,
Yes.
You can't say 50% to a CrossFitter.
No, nope. You cannot.
Right. So I just
50% is I remember used to say like try percentages because that works for everybody because not everybody has the same numbers. It's like, but wait
a second. Yes, not in PT.
Wait.
Not in PT.
No. I used to one of my clients, I met him giving when I was still coaching classes, and his back squat is crazy. It's 400 something, and every time there was a back squat in class, I would tell him like, there's back squat this day. You need to come half an hour earlier than class so you can start warming up to hit the numbers.
Right. Yes, that is true. Yeah, that was definitely, I remember that. It was so funny. I was like, you said 50%. He's like, no. He's like, I'm going to give you pounds from now on. I'm going to give you pounds. Yeah.
Yes. Prescription. There is a recent post, where you do a check mark on a post on a clipboard that says make it to the games. And there's on the caption there's part of the caption that reads, the process to qualify for the games felt impossible. Obviously we all know 2019 was kind of a crazy year for the CrossFit Games. 2020 was cut short because of COVID. 2021. What kind of happened in 2021?
Oh my gosh, 2021. I got COVID during the qualifier, during the age group qualifier, and it was at a time where we had, the quarantines were like, it was like 14-day quarantine, and it was a lot, more strict. So it was literally like my 14th day was the first day of the qualifier. And so I was sick, I tried to work out here at my house, and I would, get on, I have a rower. So I would like get on the rower and try and do like burpees over the rower or something with the rower. And it would just knock me out. I was knocked out the complete next day. Yeah. So it went from kind of panic to like, okay, well, I'll just train here at home. It's fine. At this point, to like panic again, to like, no, okay, now I need to rest. I'm just gonna rest. I just need to rest.
Oh man.
And so the first workout I did was the front squat. It was that 4 rep max front squat, and that literally took everything. I was lucky to even get the first attempts. I put a weight on there that I thought I knew I could hit. It wasn't the number that I wanted on that board, but that's all I could do. I did the one, and 20 minutes later, I tried all different weights again. After that, even just 1 pound that more, and I couldn't do anything. And then it was like a rowing workout, and for some reason, well, not for some reason, but rowing was the hardest thing to get back from that first time I had COVID. Rowing was the hardest thing. So it was interesting trying to do that row. It felt very heavy, and it felt very like, it was just really hard. Then it was that Ghc Pistol Workout, and it's funny because the pistols were one. It would have been a workout for me to like feel like, okay, I'm going to conquer these pistols, right? Like that was the
Definitely,
feeling. Yeah. I mean, that, as much as that workout would be like kind of my worst nightmare because of the amount of pistols, it was also like, this is where I'm going to accomplish this. This is where I'm going to like, prove to myself that I can do them. But it was really like the rope climbs that I just could not, my body was just like, it would not go, I couldn't even get myself up there. And then it was like a 20-minute workout or something. So it was like, it just felt forever. And after that workout, it was already over. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like statistically, I couldn't make it. I mean, I did finish it, and I did like really, really well in a couple of the workouts. But I wasn't there. Like I was, physically, it wasn't, unfortunately I didn't make it. So, I was kind of close, but not, I just didn't make it.
But you went through the qualifier no matter what.
I mean,
That's
again,
great.
it's because of that, I'm telling you, because of that 2018 experience, I'm like, I can get through anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And then this year, when they announced, oh man, again, the top 10, I was just, oh gosh, that feels so hard. And I'm not a very good online qualifier. So I went up to Georgia for my qualifiers. I honestly thought, I said, the only way for me to do well in online qualifier is to put myself in like the best competition environment I can. So I went up to Training Think Tank for the quarterfinals, and then I went up again for the semifinals. And I competed. I just made it like a competition, and I competed, there. So
yeah, there's a lot of talk about since 2020, there's so many online everything. The conversation around athletes that do good in online competitions versus the athletes that excel in live competition. That's which interesting topic.
Much better live.
Yeah.
I like it. I like.
One of the best examples is Brent Fikowski.
Yeah.
You put him on live competition, he will smash.
Yeah.
He'll podium he'll podium easily.
And it's interesting because he trained. I don't know him, but I think he trains alone too. And for the most part, I train alone as well. So that's why even when I go up to Training Think Tank they have like training camps and things like that. I mean, I love it because you're in that competitive environment. But I'm not quite sure I can do it all the time because of the fact of that like intensity level all the time. That's difficult.
Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing it's been coming up is the conversation around who does better, people that come from a training camp versus the people that train alone. And something that's come up is exactly that, is that you're surrounded by people that are your competition. So you're training. There's a difference between training and competing. They're not the same.
Right.
When you're training, you're practicing. But when you're competing, practice is over. It's showtime.
Yeah.
And it's a very different intention and intensity.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it would be hard to keep that up all the time. I honestly think I would be.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because even when I go up there and it's just for like a you know, a training camp or a weekend or whatever, you know, I come home and I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, I need like 4 rest days and then like a deload day or 2, and then we can get back to it. I can't. It's hard for me to keep up.
No, definitely.
Mm.
One, so part of the process being impossible
Yeah.
was the fact that it was a longer qualifying process,
Yep.
right? I mean, before you guys had a masters had open age group online
And that was it.
qualifier and then just game. That was it.
Yep.
But this
Mhm.
time it was open,
Quarterfinals.
quarterfinals, semifinals,
Yep.
and then you get to the game. And on top of that, it's only 10 and versus 20
Yes.
that used to go.
Oh, and just
Were the yeah. Go
the
ahead.
online process is just so stressful. Like just measuring things out and you know, standards and I mean, I feel like quarterfinals went really smooth. I had no idea where I would be because again, the year before I had COVID and I didn't finish where I wanted to be. So that one was super nerve wracking. And when I found myself, like, I think I was like 15, 16, 17, somewhere just safe, I guess. When I found myself safe, it was like, okay, everything seemed to be pretty smooth. And then you get to semifinals and it's like, oh my gosh, nothing can go wrong. Everything has to be perfect. Because it's only 10, you know, there's only so many spots. Of course I have things go wrong. And, but you know, the workouts were more skillful, a little heavier. So it was a little bit more in my, you know, my wheelhouse. Um, and again, being up at Training Think Tank with, being in that environment, and then when stuff goes wrong, you know, I had plenty of help to kind of like, you know, hurry up and do what we need to do. You know, I was really, really happy with where I landed because it's so nerve wracking. And then the password and then this, and oh my gosh, it's just like, it's a mess.
Yeah, just
It's,
one little mess up and you're done.
it is. And I did.
Yeah.
So the last 2 were, and even down to, I only went up there until Saturday night because in quarterfinals they give you the workouts and then you can do them all whenever. But in semifinals, then they throw this whole password at us, and it could be my fault, but I had no idea. So I planned to leave on Saturday night thinking I could get it all done, no big deal. But then I realized I have to wait until Saturday at 3 o'clock to get a password to do the workout. Well, my flight's at like 6 o'clock. Like,
Wow.
so anyways, so
Oh my
I had
God.
done that morning. This is the plan. So Saturday morning, I had done the handstand walking, bar muscle up workout, GHD, handstand walk, bar muscle up. Then I was going to wait until 3 o'clock. I was already going to be ready to go because I knew what the workout was. I just had to wait for the password. So I was going to be ready to go 3 o'clock, hit that workout, and literally right out the door to the airport. So I do the GHD handstand walking, bar muscle up workout. Great, everything's fine. I'm resting. We're sitting around. I am starting to prepare to set up the wall balls and the clean and jerks. And somebody says I don't know if my coach got a text message or an email. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden there's chatter that the GHD standard had changed. So your butt could not be in front of the seat, like, right? So you have the seat,
Yeah.
it had to be on top or behind. It couldn't be, it couldn't be in front, like towards your
Yeah,
face.
yeah. I just thank you. Not her fault, I guess. This is not her fault, but Alexis Raptis was I
Yes.
believe the athlete that in semis is where we all could see it, that she was sitting
Yes.
at the front part of the seat, and a lot of chatter started after that. It's like, well, can she do that? Is this okay?
Right. Well, Alexis
Yeah.
Raptis is a Training Think Tank athlete,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what we've all been practicing. This is what I've been practicing.
Yeah, but
This
is not your guys' fault. This is,
no.
I mean, in my opinion, this is CrossFit's fault. I mean,
Yes.
you should standardize this. This is why you
Yes.
picked this movement, because there's a standard to follow. Yeah, go ahead. So fine.
Yeah, because the standard on like the website was that your butt has to be on the seat and your hands just have to go back and touch the plates. That's
Yeah.
it. Well, I guess in the email of the password at the very bottom, it says there's a new GHD standard. So
That's
I don't know about all these other athletes, but when I get that email, I'm looking for the password and then it's go time. Then we just go. So I didn't read it. Again, my fault, whose fault? I don't care whose fault, but I didn't read it. And it is now coming to be about 2:00. Remember, so I have to finish that GHD workout. The scores have to be in by 3 or whatever. Yeah, 3. And then the next workout comes out. So it is now about 2:00. And again, my coach gets this message. Oh man, new standard, chatter, new standard. And we're reading it. We're looking at it. I look at my video and I'm like, oh my God. Like my butt is on top and in front. On top, it's either one or the other. But it's there. Like it's the standard.
Violating the new rule.
Yeah, it is all wrong. And I'm looking at it.
This is how not to do it.
It pretty much, like, here's my video. I would be on a, like a Hiller video or whatever. So that would be me. That's my worst nightmare. Like that would literally be anyway. So
did you get one of the shirts? Like move like Hiller's watching? No? Oh my God, you got to get one. Yeah, that one's for you. It's right there.
Yeah. So I'm watching my video and of course I'm watching, oh nice, there you go. Yeah. So I'm watching it on my phone and I'm like, well, you can't really see it on my phone. And we're really trying to like figure, I'm like, well, let me look at it on the computer. So I go on my computer and there it is. Like, it is like, it is wrong. It is wrong.
Those were going to be your next 15 seconds of fame.
So exactly. Why? Okay. So I look at my coach and I'm literally looking at him and I'm like, do I have to redo this? Like, I think I have to redo this. No, I don't have to redo this. Do I have to redo this? And I'm just kind of looking and I feel like we have this moment of just like silence. And I'm like, shit, I have to redo this. And everybody, this is how I felt it happen. The second I said, I think I have to redo this, again, it's like 2:00 and I have to have it in by 3. I felt like everybody just went scattered. This person got the GHD, this person got the tape measure, the tape, because everything was cleaned up. We were done. Like we were ready to go to the wall balls, So I do 0 warm up. If you see in my video, I do this like arm, just rolling my arms
swinging around. Yeah, just like,
I mean,
oh my God, let's go.
Yeah, I'm so lucky that it's the handstand. It was the handstand walking workout because I 0 warm up, 3, 2, 1, go, and I do the whole workout all over again.
Oh man.
So now I finish the workout and I start to, upload the video and it's like, it's taking forever. Oh, there's a copyright and there's all these things. I'm emailing CrossFit. Like I did the first one and it was wrong. And now I did the second one. And like, it's like a rant of an email. It's just like mumbling. Cause I'm like, I couldn't even believe it. I sent them both videos. I'm like, I don't know what you want, but here it is, And then I have to go and do this next workout and then head to the airport. So by then I'm terrified because I totally just, messed up all the rules and the standards. So now we have this wall ball situation where, you have to, it's a 10-foot target or whatever. And my wall balls, I almost threw it over the target every time because I was like, I have to hit the standard. I can't do it wrong.
Hiller's watching.
Yes, that's right. Like CrossFit's watching, like they're going to take away. And at the time I was doing really well. I think I was like still, in the top 5 or something. I don't know what I was, maybe 6th or 7th. I don't know. So I was like, if I lose it on this wall ball workout because I'm like close to the line. So every wall ball, I swear, I felt like it went over the target. Like it was almost over the target. I did the male target because I was just terrified. So yeah, of course, that's what happened. I do the clean and jerk and I pretty much ran out of there. I was so fortunate. Like my coach and his wife like cleaned up everything for me because I just like ran out of there and got to the airport. So it was fine.
Yeah. Your cool down was the run to the airport.
It was. And the reason why I didn't want to do it at home, it was my daughter's birthday. So so that Sunday was my daughter's birthday. So I was like, I really don't want to be doing CrossFit, on her birthday. So
yeah, I want to be having cake. Let's go.
Oh yeah, right. So that was my story. So it was just, and again, the whole having them penalties and that whole process is just anxiety. I mean, it's so much anxiety. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It's been fortunate for you, you qualified, but this whole season has been like a shit show.
Yes.
with the judging and the standards and yeah, I don't know what to think what I don't know what to make of the year, and then it's scary to think of how next year is going to look like.
Yeah.
How's training for the games going?
Oh, well, it's very hard.
Now you're doing all
I have-
the outside of the gym stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of like that stuff, the sandbags and all that kind of stuff. It feels like a lot, there's a lot to kind of touch on. So after, I mean, now it's only 2 weeks away, so I'm like, can I go yet? Is it time? Can I just go?
Lost her again.
Yeah, we lost her.
Sorry, I lost you there.
It's all right.
No, it's getting very, it's definitely tough. It's been a while since I've trained this much, right? It's been a couple years since I've been back to the games. So, or, since I've been to the games. So yeah, it's a lot, it's tough, but, just communicating with my coach and, we're doing the best we can.
That's awesome. Is this like, could you say, I mean, 2018 was so crazy.
Yeah.
How do you feel this year compared to that one? Even though you have 2022 hasn't been perfect so far, but you made it. You're going.
I'm going. I am going. No,
awesome.
I honestly, I feel like this year was actually, that little fitness goal wall. I don't think I've ever said out loud to the masses, meaning any, people, that I want to qualify to the CrossFit Games. Like, I always feel like if I do, it's cool. If I don't, it's cool, And this year is like, I've never written it down. I've never posted it on social media. It's just one of those things. Like, if I get to go, great. If I don't, that's fine too. I'll just try again next year. Just gonna keep trying. So this year, I actually wrote it down. I actually posted it up for everybody in my gym to see, so it feels super cool to, actually accomplish that goal. I mean, I just feel like it's a celebration. Like, it's just, it feels very, I don't know, just celebratory that I actually put down a goal and I achieved it. And now I can just go, and it's top 10. Like, it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm top 10.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge.
You can't go lower than 10 now. It's like,
right.
that's the worst percent. You're still the 10th fittest, 40 to 45. For the sake
of the competition, I think it's better with 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. I do agree with that. I agree. But again, it's I don't know, just the accomplishment I feel of just, and again, with the process, to me, feeling so hard. I'm not an online person. I'm a live person. So it's cool. It just feels like a celebration.
No, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And because it's out there. And go ahead.
From the island, we will have Josue Maldonado. He will be competing at the adaptive.
Oh, great!
Competing over there. Also, Nestle Bernardi, who is the other adaptive athlete, she will not be competing because her stage finished with the semifinals.
Oh, right.
But she will have the award ceremony over there.
Great.
So we'll be there also, and the one who's sponsoring them, who is Will Tirado from Los de la Isla CrossFit. He will be over there with there, so maybe we can stay in contact.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to find them.
And you can contact them over
there.
Yeah,
very cool.
I have a question about 2019 extravaganza, video extravaganza.
Yes. Okay, so how did that happen? Someone told me about it. There was a competition in Puerto Rico. Oh, was it you?
Yeah, through the
page. Yeah, okay.
I contacted you on told me I would like to go to Puerto Rico,
Yes.
make a competition over there, and I told you, well, the best competition here is in Puerto Rico. As soon as
Yes.
they announce it, I will let you know. And as soon as
Yes.
they announce it, I send it to you. I put you in contact with Carlos.
Yes.
And you came, you compete here,
Yes.
and it was awesome.
Yes, it was so awesome. And I brought people. I brought some friends from my
Yes,
gym,
I remember.
and we had, oh my gosh, we had such a good time. I thought it was a great competition. We loved the swimming aspect of in it. It felt like a complete, a complete competition. So, I was so excited. Yeah, that was a really great experience. I'm so happy that it's back.
Yeah, it's back
Yes,
and it's
finally. We
Yeah,
finally have live competition in Puerto
yeah,
Rico again.
yeah,
we're very
yeah,
excited about it. And he will be doing at the Parque Central. That there's the natatorium that there are
yes,
bigger,
It's a
bigger.
bigger
yes,
pool and it's a
yes,
bigger venue, and
yes,
the
And
prize purse is the highest we've ever
yes.
had in Puerto
we
Rico.
also have an elite
We have an elite
category
division.
division,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
and
which is a
Yeah.
first.
there's has been already one elite female competitor confirmed. I don't
Confirmed
remember
that's
her
fine.
name, but I
Yeah.
can.
So for me, it's funny because I haven't looked past the games yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
you
not
Yeah,
to.
have event.
Yeah. And but the same people in my gym. So unfortunately, two of the people that came with me, they moved.
Okay.
But there's still chatter in the gym, and I still talk about it. I'm like, okay, there's this Puerto Rico competition. We gotta potentially do it because I just haven't looked
Yeah,
past the
the
games.
games. Yeah,
Yeah. So
understandable.
to see where I'm at.
but we would love to have you here competing. And we
Yes.
mentioned
Yeah.
she's the one that already confirmed her participation.
Very cool. Very cool. I guess I have to go elite then. I can't go masters.
You
No, you
could.
have to go elite. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when I first talked to Carlos, via email the last time, I said, there was a master's division.
Oh, she froze again. Technically, she could, but the price purse is not
And
as
that's not as high, and the standards. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a
It's
second there.
okay.
But when I first started to email Carlos about like what are the divisions and this and that from the 2019, he said, "Please don't do masters." I
Well,
said, "Okay, yeah,
on behalf of the entire community, CrossFit community in Puerto Rico, I'm going to say, please don't go masters.
yeah, 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 I'll do that. Yeah, yeah." But I'm really excited. It's definitely on the list, but I haven't thought past the games yet. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so. But I'm very excited for it. And it was a great competition. I had a great time. There, the energy, you can't beat the Puerto Rican energy. I mean, I remember I was doing, there was a double under workout, and I remember we were facing the crowd, and I'm doing double unders, and I forget the woman next to me, but there's this whole section, this cheering section for this one woman, and I am just laughing because they were so passionate for her, and I was just like, this is so cool. In my double unders, and I just remember seeing, yeah, and then like the pool. I mean, you could hear the people like when we had swim to the one side. I mean, I could hear like 5 or 6 people right there cheering for you. You know what I mean? It's very cool. The energy is definitely. I'd love to go back simply for the passion of the sport. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's
Well,
pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
we would
it
love to have
is.
you here, but
Yes.
Yeah.
the games are
Yeah. Yes.
your next.
We'll let you do that little competition. That's
Right.
important,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I just got a small little obstacle there.
It's
Yeah.
well, Hector, I don't have anything else right now.
I would
Do you
like to
have
thank
anything
you
else?
for being here. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're almost an hour and 44 minutes in.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough for your time.
Oh, no
Uh,
problem.
I mean,
Side note, this is my very first podcast.
that's
oh yes,
Yay!
that is awesome. All right.
Yes. I'm so happy. Absolutely. Yes. No, thank you.
No, thank you so much. best of luck in the games. We will
Mhm.
be paying attention. We will be watching. We will be cheering you on. I don't know if Hector has any intentions of trying to get people through the weekend of the games or something like that. But we would love to chat afterwards. Get your the sum of that weekend. And
Yeah.
man, thank you so much. I love your story.
Yeah.
Uh, you're an incredible human. I mean, God, you do so much, and you're such a beast. I love it. Thank you, Mayra. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
This was
best of luck
great.
at the games. Yes, go
Thank
ahead,
you.
Edgar.
Digo en español a la gente, gracias por sintonizar, espero que hayan disfrutado esta conversación con Mayra Brandt. Vamos a estar pendientes de ella en los CrossFit Games, categoría 35, 39 de los Masters.
No,
Eh,
40, 40.
No, 40 to
sorry,
45. Yeah.
¿verdad? Es que hablamos, we talked so much about 35 to 39
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
stayed there. Yeah,
Sorry.
she just began the 40 to 44 division, so we'll be paying attention. Gracias a Viva la Fitness por auspiciar a la comunidad y nos veremos en la próxima.